All right, so this is part 2 of the Zoom 9030 challenge, but I'm throwing a little extra bonus accomplishment in it, in that I wanted to find out how to get the SGE Mach II sampler capability to be utilized in a sequencer versus it being done manually through the interface of the device itself. And it does have trigger capability and MIDI capability, so it was definitely designed to be used as such, but I wanted to really see it in action. I've never really seen that, so I thought I'd try that. So I had some luck with it, although it was a bit longer than I expected, and it still does some things that I don't fully understand, and I hope to at some point, but I feel like I got to a point where at least I got it functional. And yeah, so here's the rundown. We got the 9030 still running through the noise gate over here, and then going into the mixer. But then I set up a separate situation where I'm actually splitting the signal from there, doing to the noise gate, and this other one is actually going to the SGE right there. So it comes through there, and then that goes, of course, back into the mixer. Now, as far as the sequencing goes, what I have essentially is a sequenced patch change. Number 2 is essentially bypass or a blank patch. And then number 3 is the actual patch that has the sampler and transposer built in. And I basically had to do this because there doesn't seem to be a way to rearm a patch. When you flip to it, it will be ready to record and sample, but once it's done that, there's no way to then rearm it again. So you really have to kind of get out of that patch and then go back into that patch. So that's what you see here. So it goes a blank patch, then it goes into the sampler. After a little while, it then goes back to the blank patch, and then it goes back into the sampler again. And of course up here you can see that once the sampler has played and is auto-armed, which I've got it set to because that was where I had the best results, was just using auto, which is not ideal because, you know, of course you never really know exactly when you want something to be grabbed necessarily. So you know, if you're improvising or something else. So anyway, it's working well enough for now. So, and you can see I've got a series of notes that basically are being sent to the SGE to play back, you know, various pitches and such. So all right, so without further ado, here's what it sounds like essentially. So go back here. So that last little choking you were hearing was me just disabling and enabling sort of an extra effect on the 9030, just so you could hear that it was actually grabbing new material each time it passed by. So yeah, pretty happy with the results overall. The sampler itself is pretty crude, so those little popping sounds you hear are pretty much just the SGE itself as a sampler, not doing much of any, you know, attack clipping or any kind of a softening of the beginning of the playback moment. You can set a start point in the recording that you want it to play, but in my experience so far, it didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. It basically seems to be popping no matter where it plays back from the beginning. So, you know, it is what it is, but I just thought it'd be pretty cool to see it working, and I did get it working. So anyway, on to the, I guess, final results in the next video.